Yep. And no, I haven't marked the extending part yet. Okay, so my apologies for that. Excellent. Oh, and Nima, if you wanted to come and see your test. There we go. Yeah, you can take it, have a look at it. Yep. No, you're good? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right, I'll move these. Sorry, I'll let you throw that on the ground. I'll be really helpful like that. All right, so today we're going to talk about mixed naming, which will be a little bit of a review of all the other different kinds of naming. This is for quiz 6, and this is on page 57. Page 57. So this is one of two flowcharts that we have. Thank you. One of two flowcharts that we have for how to name compounds when you have a whole bunch of them all mixed up together, because you will have covalent compounds which use prefixes. You will have ionic compounds that don't need Roman numerals. You'll have ionic compounds that do need Roman numerals, and you need to be able to keep those three different types straight. So the first thing you have to ask yourself, and this is on page 57, if you missed that, I think it was, yes. So you have to ask yourself, does it start with a metal or NH4? If it does, that means you have what type of compound? Ionic, okay? So if it starts with a metal or NH4, you have an ionic compound. Then you have two choices. You either have the red zone, which is the gray zone, or you have the metals which are not in the gray zone. So if you have metals that are not in the gray zone, those are your easiest ones of all, right? That's like quiz number 1 that we did, where you've got, say for example, CaI2. Calcium is not in the gray zone, so you just name it calcium, and then I just changes to iodide, right? So that's lovely and easy. If you start and you say, oh yes, it does start with a metal, but that metal forms more than one type of ion, it's in the gray zone, then you can follow this one down here and say, if it's in the gray zone, what do I do differently? You will figure out the charge of the cation, and that's the Roman numeral, okay? So you'll write the name of the cation, you'll have that middle name with the charge, and then you'll have the name of the anion with the ending "ide." So for example, if we had FeCl3, that would be iron 3 chloride. Now this little tiny flowchart doesn't mention polyatomic ions, so I put that down here. Polyatomic ions just keep their names. There's no "ide", there's no Roman numerals. They're just super easy. You just look them up and write them down. So those are your ionic compounds. And do you remember how to find the Roman numeral? Would we like a quick review of that? Yes? Okay, so let's say we had CR 203. Okay? If we have something like this, and this is in the gray zone, then remember we write out all the anions, O, 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 and we write out all the cations, Cr, Cr. How did I know to write 3 oxygens? Because there's a subscript 3. How did I know to write 2 chromiums? Subscript 2. Excellent. What do I do next once I've written them all out? Find the charge of the -1, and you can look that up on your table. It is 2 minus, 2 minus, 2 minus. Next we do what? Add up all the negatives, so that gives us 6 minus. How much positive do we have to have? 6 positive. And this is the last part, don't forget this. What do you have to do with that 6 positive? Distribute it onto both of the metal atoms so that they add up to give us 6 plus. So what's the charge of each of them? 3 plus, 3 plus, and so that's going to give you chromium, and that's our Roman numeral 3 oxide. Okay? So there we are. That's all of our ionic compounds. Now, if it is just 2 nonmetals, not 3 nonmetals, because if you have 3 nonmetals, it's probably NH4Cl or something like that. That has 3 nonmetals. Is that ionic or is that covalent? That is ionic because we have that NH4. Okay, so watch out for that. For it to be molecular, it has to be only how many nonmetals? 2. This would also include your metalloids. Okay, so if you have a metalloid and a metalloid, that will also be molecular, which is also known as covalent. And for those, just use your prefixes. Prefix, name of the first element. Prefix, name of the second element, change the ending to "ide." Do we change the ending of the first element? No. Which prefix do you drop and when? You drop mono on the first word, and if you want to get all your spelling points, you are also going to drop an O and an A if it's in front of oxygen or oxide. Okay? So, if you are practicing this, if you're just starting out, it might be helpful to have this sheet in front of you. Would anyone like me to print them a separate copy of this sheet so you don't have to like be flipping in your book? Yes? Okay, cool. I will do that. Anyone else would like a separate sheet? Hands up high so I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyone else? Perfect. I will print out 5 of those so you can have it so you don't have to flip, 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 flip. All right, and so you can practice for quiz 6. And do quiz 6, you'll notice if your name is up here, you maybe have some quizzes to get caught up on. Okay? Yes. Hi. Let me check. Ella, you did. You got 5.5. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. Yay. There you go. Yes. Oh, of course, yeah.